Haven 6 was one of Earth's quiet colonies on the edge of known space. Life moved slowly there. Farmers worked in open fields. Families cooked dinner together. Children chased each other near the warm river. No one expected danger. No one expected war. The colonists believed the Outer Rim was safe, but everything changed in one single night. It started with a strange noise in the sky. Birds flew away. Animals hid. The air felt heavier. Some people looked up, thinking a storm was coming. But what they saw was not clouds. It was thousands of small burning lines moving across the sky, dropping lower and lower as if guided by invisible hands. The invasion had begun. The first explosions hit the northern farms. Fire spread like a living creature, crawling across the fields and turning everything black. Houses shook. Windows shattered. People screamed and ran, trying to find their families. The colony alarms began to ring, loud and sharp, warning everyone to seek shelter immediately. A young technician named Lyra Soren rushed toward the communication bunker. Smoke already filled the streets. Dust covered her face. Buildings around her collapsed as more fire rained down from above. She pushed herself forward, knowing that someone had to warn Earth before the colony was wiped out. Inside the bunker, the lights flickered. Machines sparked. The main transmitter was badly damaged. Lyra worked with shaking hands, trying to reconnect wires and restart power. Outside, the sound of burning metal grew louder. She knew she did not have much time. Finally, the transmitter hummed to life. Lyra grabbed the mic and sent a distress call. Haven 6 under attack. Unknown enemy. Thousands of ships. They are burning everything. Please send help. Send the Titans. She did not know if her message reached anyone. She could only pray. Before she could send more information, the ground shook violently. A massive blast hit the bunker. The ceiling cracked open. Lyra fell to the floor as fire and debris crashed around her. The signal cut out. Her voice faded into static dot, but a small part of the message survived. It traveled across space, weak and broken, until it reached Earth Command. When the transmission played, the war room fell silent. Officers listened to the static, the screams, the rising fire. General Marcus Hawley stood perfectly still. This kind of destruction should have been impossible in the Outer Rim. There were no hostile empires nearby. No known enemies. Then a second fragment came through. 3 whispered words, terrified, quiet, almost lost in the noise. They eat fire. No one in the room understood what that meant, but everyone felt the cold fear behind it. Earth Command realized something terrible. The colony had not been conquered. It had been consumed. General Hawley made the decision no leader wanted to make. He opened a sealed vault deep beneath the command center. Inside were giant war machines older than most nations, the Titans. Humanity's last answer to extinction. And for the first time in 200 years, their eyes began to glow. Earth Command moved quickly after receiving the broken signal from Haven 6. The colony's last words, "They eat fire," repeated again and again in the war room, echoing like a nightmare. Scientists tried to guess its meaning. Admirals argued. Officers whispered. But no one had a clear answer. General Marcus Hawley ordered all colony routes to be scanned. Long-range sensors searched the Outer Rim. At first, the screen showed nothing unusual. No fleets, no warnings, no signs of life. Then the lights dimmed. A dark shape appeared on the main holoscreen. Not a ship. Not a planet. Something drifting through space like a living cloud of smoke. The analyst zoomed in. Thousands of small black shards floated together, glowing faintly with orange cracks as if they held fire inside their bodies. And they moved with purpose. They were heading toward another human colony. The room froze. "These are not ships," the chief scientist whispered. "These are organisms." General Hale narrowed his eyes. "Living weapons?" "Worse," the scientist replied. "They consume energy, heat, fire, ash. They feed on destruction." A new name was added to Earth's threat list: the Cindervoid Dominion, a species born from dead stars. Living inside cosmic ash clouds, feeding on burning worlds, Earth had never seen anything like them. Before the general could issue the next command, the doors of the Titan chamber opened. The massive metal giants stood silent, waiting. Each Titan was a symbol of a past war humanity barely survived. They were powerful, but awakening them meant only one thing: this enemy was different. This enemy was dangerous. This enemy could not be reasoned with. Among the Titan pilots chosen was Commander Rhea Cade, a calm but fearless officer known for her strong instincts. She walked into the Titan Bay, where her assigned machine stood a towering giant named Astra Prime. A Titan older than any living pilot. Astra Prime's armor was marked with scars from forgotten battles. Blue energy lines glowed faintly under its surface, as if the machine itself remembered war. Rhea placed her hand on the Titan's control frame. The moment she touched it, the entire chamber vibrated. Lights flickered. The Titan's eyes flashed open with a burning blue glow. Technicians stepped back in fear. Even Rhea stiffened. "It woke too fast," an engineer whispered. "Titans shouldn't respond this quickly." But Rhea understood. She felt something deep inside the machine, a sense of anger, almost like a heartbeat. Astra Prime was not waking up because it was ordered. It was waking up because something had challenged humanity. Rhea climbed into the pilot core. As the systems connected with her mind, Astra Prime showed her visions, flashes of old wars, burning worlds, falling cities, monsters made of shadow and fire. The Cindervoid Dominion had awakened. Something dangerous. Not just humanity, but the Titans themselves. Earth's fleet prepared for launch. The countdown began. Millions watched as the Titans marched into their dropships, shaking the ground with each step. For the first time in centuries, humanity was sending its giants to war. The Titan hangars had been silent for 2 centuries, but now they roared with life. Engineers rushed between giant metal legs, checking armor plates, loading power cores, and connecting ancient cables that hummed with blue energy. The floor trembled each time a Titan moved, as if the ground itself feared their footsteps. Humanity had awakened its giants. Astra Prime stood at the front of the formation, towering above the rest. Rhea Cade sat inside its pilot core, feeling the machine's heartbeat align with her own. Every movement she made, Astra Prime mirrored. Every breath she took, the Titan's energy lines pulsed in rhythm. It felt less like she was controlling the Titan, and more like she was partnering with something alive. Across the hangar, other pilots entered their Titan's iron reach. Stormbreaker, Dawn Shield, and the heavy unit Titan Magnum. Each one was built for a different kind of war. Each one held its own history. And today, all of them were needed. General Hale watched from the observation deck. The room shook as Titans began their march toward the launch bay. He had seen many wars, but never had he felt this kind of pressure. The Cindervoid Dominion was not only burning colonies. They were learning, adapting, and growing stronger with every flame they consumed. If the Titans failed, humanity would have no second chance. "Begin transport sequence," Hale ordered. Massive doors opened, revealing the Titan dropships, floating fortresses built to carry giants into battle. Their engines glowed like miniature suns. Ramps extended with loud metal groans. The Titans stepped into the dropships one by one, their weight making the structure vibrate. Technicians watched with awe. Civilians across Earth watched through global broadcasts. Children cheered. Old veterans saluted. For the first time in a long time, the world remembered that humanity had once stood against impossible enemies and survived. Inside her cockpit, Rhea felt Astra Prime reaching out to her mind again. Images flashed: ashen landscapes, starfields torn by explosions, giant enemies made of smoke. They were visions, memories, warnings. Astra Prime was telling her that this war was not new, only forgotten. "Don't worry," Rhea whispered. "We will finish what you started." The Titan's lights glowed brighter, as if answering her. When the dropship doors closed, the sound was like a final promise. The ship's engines activated, shaking everything inside. Pilots felt the familiar weight pressing them into their seats as the ship lifted off the ground. Thousands of people gathered outside to watch the launch. Families held each other. Soldiers stood in rows. Everyone felt the same fear, but also the same hope. Then the sky lit up. The Titan fleet launched into space, engines firing in perfect synchronization. Trails of blue energy streaked upward as the ships burst through the atmosphere. Moments later, they vanished into faster-than-light travel, heading straight toward the burning colony worlds. For the first time since the attack began, the colonies were not alone. Humanity was coming, and the Titans were leading the charge. The Titan fleet dropped out of faster-than-light travel above the colony world, Ember 3, one of the last surviving planets near Haven 6, but it did not look like a living colony anymore. Half the surface glowed red. Entire forests were burning. Black clouds covered the sky like a funeral shroud. And below, crawling across the burning land, were the cinder void swarms. The moment the dropships arrived, the enemy reacted. The sky opened with beams of orange fire as cinder void creatures launched themselves upward, trying to tear the human ships apart before they could land. "Brace for impact," shouted the dropship captain. Rhea held tightly inside Astra Prime. The Titan systems adjusted automatically, locking its massive legs in place. Alarms flashed around her as fire slammed against the dropship hull. But the ship held firm. They were going down. But they were going down fighting. The dropships crashed into the burning ground with explosive force. Dust and ash flew into the air. The moment the ramps opened, the Titans marched out like giants stepping into a world of nightmares. The ground shook with every step. The cinder void creatures rushed forward, their bodies glowing with cracks of molten light. Some were shaped like wolves made of ash, others like tall humanoids with burning eyes. All of them screamed with a sound like metal tearing apart. Astra Prime was the first to strike. Rhea raised the Titan's arm, and a massive pulse cannon charged with blue energy. The blast tore through the enemy ranks, shattering dozens of ash creatures into smoking fragments. The shock wave rolled across the battlefield, blowing fire and debris into the air. Behind her, Titan Magnum fired heavy railguns, each shot sending entire groups of cinder voids flying. Stormbreaker unleashed its ion lance, cutting through enemies with crackling arcs of lightning. The battlefield glowed blue and orange as metal giants clashed with creatures of fire. But the enemy did not fall back. They swarmed. They climbed over each other, building towers of burning bodies to reach the Titans. They latched onto armor, trying to melt through it. They split open like firebombs, releasing ash clouds that ate through metal. "Keep moving," Rhea shouted. "Don't let them surround us." Astra Prime swung its arm, smashing dozens of creatures at once. Each step, the Titan took crushed enemies beneath its feet, leaving burning marks on the ground. The Titan systems glowed brighter the more Rhea fought, as if the machine was waking to its full strength. Still, the Cinder Void Dominion had a weapon waiting. A deep rumble shook the battlefield. The ash clouds parted. A massive creature rose from the burning ground, taller than the Titans, shaped like a giant made of smoking magma. Its chest cracked open, revealing a core of pure orange fire. The enemy roared, loud enough to shake mountains. Rhea stared in shock. Astra Prime. What is that? The Titan's lights flickered in warning. The largest cinder void she had ever seen stepped forward, each footstep melting the earth. Beneath it, this was no ordinary creature. Was a cinder void forged titan, a monster built from the ashes of entire planets. And it had come to kill humanity's giants, the cinder void. Forged titan towered over the battlefield like a walking volcano. Every step it took melted stone, turning the ground into rivers of glowing lava. Its body cracked open with burning lines of orange fire, and its roar shook the air like thunder. The human titans paused for the first time. Even they had never seen a creature this massive, this ancient, this hungry. Rhea felt Astra Prime tense beneath her. The Titan systems flickered with warning symbols, but its energy core pulsed brighter, almost as if it refused to retreat. We end this, Rhea whispered. The forged titan charged. Its molten fist slammed into the ground, sending shock waves that threw smaller titans off their feet. Stormbreaker fell hard, sliding across burning ash. Titan Magnum fired railgun blasts at the creature's chest, but the shots only cracked its surface before being swallowed by molten fire. The monster leaned forward and opened its core. A beam of concentrated flame blasted out, tearing across the battlefield. Move! Rhea shouted. Astra Prime jumped aside just in time, the beam passing close enough to scorch its armor. The ground behind them exploded, leaving a canyon of molten glass. The creature was powerful enough to destroy a colony alone. This was the final weapon of the Cinder Void. Dominion. Rhea knew Astra Prime had to stop it no matter the cost. The Titan showed her something. A silent message. A memory. A choice. Astra Prime's core held a forbidden attack, an overload blast strong enough to melt a mountain, but dangerous enough to destroy the Titan if used for too long. Rhea didn't hesitate. Do it, she whispered. For Haven 6, for everyone. Astra Prime stood tall. Its blue energy lines glowed brighter, turning white. The ground vibrated as the Titan gathered power. Lightning like arcs shot from its armor. The forged Titan sensed the danger and charged forward, roaring with burning rage. But Astra Prime ran, too. Both giants collided in the center of the battlefield. Rhea triggered the overload. Astra Prime's chest opened, releasing a beam of pure white energy straight into the forged Titan's core. The blast tore through molten armor, slicing the creature apart from the inside. The forged Titan screamed as cracks spread across its body, fire bursting out in every direction. The explosion was blinding. A wave of energy ripped across the battlefield, knocking every Titan to the ground and turning ash creatures into dust. Firestorms spiraled upward into the sky. When the light faded, the forged Titan was gone. Only molten fragments remained. Astra Prime fell to one knee, its core burned out, its energy fading. Rhea could feel the Titan's heartbeat slowing. She placed her hand on the controls. You saved them, she whispered. You saved all of us. The Titan's lights dimmed gently, like a warrior closing its eyes after one last victory. Human forces gathered around the fallen giant. The battle was over. The Cinder Void Dominion retreated, their hunger broken, their greatest weapon destroyed. Earth's colonies were safe. News spread across human space in minutes. People cried. People cheered. Children drew pictures of Titans in the sky. From that day forward, the Titans were no longer just relics of old wars, they were symbols of hope. Guardians of humanity, giants who walked only when humanity truly needed them. And now, the whole galaxy knew, humanity does not break. Humanity does not bow. And if you burn their worlds, their Titans will rise.